Quick disclaimer. What I'm saying and what I'm not saying. I'm not saying don't vote. You should do your civic duty. You should be involved in politics as much as you want. But have all the pride in your city and your state and your country that you want. But this is basically just a series on whether or not you're tired of having arguments with your friends, family, cohorts, or hearing crazy people on the TVs. Quick do's and don'ts. Do vote. Don't use politics as a weapon or have an us versus them mentality. It seems like it is necessary sometimes, but when it comes down to it, if everybody minds their own business, which some people won't, but you can do your part of being a better neighbor, a better person, having more calm and humility in yourself to just know your own truth and push forward with what you think is right, whatever that means. And like I said, I'm mainly doing this for someone like me who wants to get out of politics, but I keep finding myself getting dragged back into it. Or the person who hates arguing with family, friends, all of that. Or somebody who's thinking about diving headfirst into the political landscape one way or the other, and they're not sure if they can, or if they should, or if they want to. Maybe you want to impress somebody, or you want to just shut it all down, or shut down a dishonest conversation somebody's having with you about certain things. So part 2 of this is the savior mentality. Talked a little bit the other day about somebody saying I alone can fix it is not only inherently nonsensical. Imagine the hubris it takes. Imagine the super ego it takes to say only you can fix a problem that usually has never been fixed by anybody else. So whether it's immigration reform or prison reform or money in politics or whatever your core issue is, the border wall, the IRS, education, books being banned, whatever it is, somebody promising you that they can fix it, or at least they're going to work really hard to fix it, it's not going to fix it. The other day's episode was about promises not kept. And this falls in line with that savior mentality, thinking that you have the ability to end a war or fix an economy or impeach a president for wearing a tan suit. Yeah, sirens should be going off in your head when you hear any of this kind of stuff. The pearl clutching and the, oh my stars! I can't believe the president saluted somebody with one hand holding a cup of coffee. Yeah, that's the worst thing anyone's ever done, for sure. You should be super upset about that. But constituents, certain constituents, it's usually the far left, the far right, eat this stuff up. And being able to just say, well, that's ridiculous. Maybe you want to have a hyperbolic conversation. You want to have an invigorating speech. That's fine. But you can't say that you're going to build policy on it. Or that you can literally fix an institution that hasn't been fixed in either decades or hundreds of years or in millennia. If you're talking about war, did anyone really think that Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, was going to fix peace in the Middle East? And if they did think that, why did they think that? And how did that work out for everybody? He moved the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, Tel Aviv. The first one. That didn't work out so well. Like, it hasn't really worked out for Palestinians or Egyptians or Jordanians or really Israelis. There are many Israelis who are super upset right now, regardless of what Netanyahu or the far right or people who have been brainwashed, and it is brainwashing, let's be clear. There is no distinction between what we see as brainwashing in the West and what is actually taught in schools, in young schools, in Israel from a young age, all the way through their mandatory military service and thereafter. So this savior complex has provided only the broken promises across the board. There's always going to be another mob bandwagon. You don't have to jump on, and you don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Somebody wants to challenge you on your own either political beliefs or what you think is right. First, educate yourself. Like anything, with the world that we live in now, with the country that we live in now, educate yourself first if you think you want to have those battles. I've only learned so much because I've been so woefully unprepared before. I reach out to people smarter than I am to ask them. I mean, I don't really do this anymore, but I used to go to people after being embarrassed so many times of saying, you said this thing about Clinton, or you said this thing about Bush v. Gore. Like, I didn't understand that. That takes humility to say, I don't know, when you're having an argument with somebody. I don't know. It feels like you're weak. You're not weak. You're just admitting something that somebody else won't. Trump never said, and will never say, I don't know, unless it's something salacious about him, apparently. I never really heard Hillary Clinton say, I don't know. I've heard Bernie Sanders say, I don't know, a lot. I heard John Edwards say, I don't know, a lot. Again, with something salacious. And it's like, look it up. But I really don't think anyone should care who it's coming from. I don't think that it has to be villains and heroes. Joe Biden's not a hero, but boy, is it easy to see the distinction between those two. The savior mentality exists in both of them, but Joe Biden isn't promising 4 years ago or now, or 8 years ago or now, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. We're going to deport, I almost said export. That would be bad. He never said we're going to deport millions of immigrants that have come into this country. Legally, illegally, he doesn't care. Trump doesn't care. Nor did he care about banning Muslims. People forget that? I don't get it. But here's my last real point. They complain about what needs to be fixed, as we saw with this last border thing, where we were complaining about the border and we had a bipartisan deal awarded. Really, it was an award to both parties. This is the most comprehensive, most conservative-leaning bill that we have to address the border issue right now. And you know immediately that the GOP has no real backbone about anything. If Trump said, I need to complain about this to win, you can't fix this stuff. And people saw it, which is, in my opinion, one of the reasons he's not going to make it. So they complain about what needs to be fixed. They don't fix anything, and they complain some more. Your mayor didn't fix healthcare, and neither did mine. Your senator didn't fix immigration problems, immigration reform, and neither did mine. Your party didn't fix the budget, the deficit, anything having to do with fiscal spending, fiscal conservatism. It doesn't exist on either side. It's just something to complain about. So whether it's the budget or criminal justice system or drugs or sex trafficking or nepotism, yours didn't do it and neither did mine. Your politician, your person who promised that they would fix things, that they were the savior, that they were the better of either world, of either choice. They didn't do it. And there's one indisputable reason, and it's the two things that we've discussed so far: the savior mentality and the promises that were never going to be kept in the first place. It was a cattle call for votes, for money, for help, and the next president isn't going to fix it either. I mean, Biden's doing a lot for jobs. Biden's doing a lot for healthcare initiatives, small businesses. There are the CHIPS Act. There are so many things that he is doing, but at no point did he say, I'm going to, or somebody I have in my cabinet is going to fix the war in the Middle East, or that we're going to get rid of healthcare and replace it with something better, the biggest, the baddest. It's going to be so beautiful. Tired of winning. Is anyone tired of winning yet? I'm not tired of winning. I wasn't tired of winning or losing, for that matter, in 2016. But I'm tired of the savior mentality. So that's it. That's episode 2. Join me again another time. Hope you're all well. And I'll try and talk to you another time. Stay safe. Be excellent to each other.